It's that time. It's that time when we're all getting out our calendars and our new planners and setting goals. Well, I am asking you to set one very important goal. Do nothing. Do nothing till you hear from the divine. That's what I want to talk about in the month of January. Join me, Reverend Amani Malaika, at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. If you are in the Albuquerque area, that's what we'll be doing on Sundays, 4 p.m. in person. Otherwise, join me right here on YouTube or wherever you're watching this or listening to this. And let's just continue to welcome winter's invitation to pause and do nothing. And wait and listen and be guided from this much quieter, grounded place. Do nothing till you hear from me. I was listening to the Ella Fitzgerald version of that song, and I thought, this is the goal. This is the goal of 2025, I think, as we begin it at least. Do nothing. Turn away from all of the pressure and the noise and just turn towards truth. Howard Thurman wrote a meditation saying, I determined to live my life from the inner sanctuary. And we're going to be talking about that much more during this series. But the inward sanctuary, the sanctuary that you and I have, the respite that you and I can find when we turn within, when we do nothing and quiet the noise and quiet the pressure that comes, that we mostly internalized at this point as, adults in the world. We've internalized that pressure, that expectation, the productivity requirements of being adult, right? We've even named it adulting. And I want us to actually make it our spiritual practice to turn away from that condition, as Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind, often talked about. And in the practice of metaphysics, in the practice of a spiritual life, spiritual living, the turning within, the turning away from outer circumstances, the determining to live life inside out is fundamental. It is critical to all spiritual living in all times across human history. But what I want to offer, really offer, is that in this moment, in this 2025 January moment, maybe it is the most important thing you can do. Do nothing. There's a story, you may have heard it, that there's a guy under a street lamp outside, frantically looking on the ground. And a stranger comes up and says, what are you looking and how can I help? And I'm looking for my keys. I'm looking for my keys. And so the stranger starts helping to look, and they're looking and picking up the little random things on the street, trying to find his keys. And finally the stranger says, it doesn't seem like we're finding anything. You're sure you dropped your keys here? And he said, no, I dropped my keys in my house. The stranger looks like, what? Why are we looking outside on the street? He said, because the light's better here. I think many, 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 many of us are looking, searching, frantically, seeking the key to whatever the struggle is, right? To whatever's going on in your life. Not enough money, not enough love, not enough health or vitality or peace. And we're out on the street. We're turned outward looking because it seems like that's where the light is. That's where the key is. Because you and I have been trained and indoctrinated to be externally focused. And I am saying to you, maybe the most important thing to do right now in this moment in history is to stop seeking the key outside of you, to stop seeking the light in other people, to stop seeking the solutions and the answers and the way to feel better, the salve outside of you, in the right job, in the right relationship, in the right body weight, the right book, the right 10 steps to blah, 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 the right goals, the right amount of productivity. What if the most transformative, profound, impactful, meaningful goal you could set right now is to stop, do nothing, wait, recognize maybe the places in your life where you are out on the street searching for a key that isn't there, and that the key you are looking for absolutely is in the house, is in your house, is in your temple. You know, I can't offer this wisdom and suggestion without also acknowledging how difficult it is to stop, how frightening it can be to pause and entirely focus your attention, turn down the noise of your life, and meet yourself, meet the divine in that quiet. You know, I was just this morning doing some practice, right? Doing my morning practice. And I was singing, and I knew that if I started singing, I was going to cry because the tears were just like right there under the surface. Because if, like me, you might also be just dealing with a lot of grief this season. If not personal grief, collective, global grief, right? And so I haven't been wanting to meet myself in that way, right? Song for me is always going to bring me right into my body, right into my feelings. I imagine there are things like stopping and pausing, getting quiet that might do that for you as well. And so I just didn't want to, because I knew I was going to just need to have a good cry if I started singing. But that's sometimes exactly what is needed in the stop, in the do nothing, is to meet yourself there and meet whatever is true for you right now. And grief might be true for you right now. It's kind of hard to be alive on the planet, and if you're paying attention, you are sad, you are grieving, you are crying for the state of the world. And still, the divine is there, ever waiting, ever holding you. And when you and I can determine, thank you, Howard Thurman, to live from this inward sanctuary, one of the sweet, sweet gifts of that determination is to become conscious and have the actual experience of being held in the divine, to resting on the ground of love that is God, that is ever waiting in those moments where you and I can stop long enough to feel what it feels like to be alive right now as you, as me. Oh, and in that stopping, in that pause, in the practice of it, I can begin to have faith that that ground is always there. I can begin to make it my practice in the turning within and the stopping, to let myself be held, even if I know that when I close my eyes this time, if I stop right now, I know what's right under there, right waiting for me beneath the noise of my life, of my own mind, are tears, is grief, is sadness, and the sweetness that is also there, because I know I allow the divine to hold me in it, that I'm not alone in it. You are not alone in it. So not only is the guidance and the wisdom you might be looking for, the answers you might be seeking there, but more importantly is the love that is waiting for you when you stop, when you pause. And that this could be your great strategy in 2025, is to be loved, to be held, to stop seeking the key out on the street and trust that it's actually been right where you are this whole time and is ever inviting you to find yourself loved and held. This maybe is the why you practice pausing, stopping, quieting. Whether you want to use that time for prayer, whether you want to use that time for meditation. I like to call prayer talking to God and meditation listening to God. But the pausing and the stopping is really more about coming into contact with the presence of the one who is loving you 100% of the time, every second, every minute of the day. And you can come into contact with it. You can bring yourself into the presence of this love, of this comfort, of this sweetness, of what is available right alongside the pain and the grief that might also meet you in the stopping. Right alongside the delight that is also available when you and I stop and pause and quiet and rest in the arms of the Holy Blessed One. When we turn down the noise of our lives, all of that becomes possible. The truth that is so rich and full, that is beyond the busy, the noise, is waiting there for you. So that is my invitation in this new year. Stop. Do nothing. Make no moves. Set no goals till you hear from the divine. May you rest well. May you know yourself loved. And may your heart be cared for in your practice this month. I love you so much.